Heat and Shrink. Heat and Shrink is a unique product. It's almost kind of like a plastic lining that you're going to put behind your fabric. You can do many things with Heat and Shrink to add texture. By putting it behind your fabric and then simply sewing squares, grid lines using your quilter's guide. Most all of your sewing machines come with a tool called a quilter's guide. It's a little rod that has a little ski that comes out that fits in the back of the shank on your machine or on your walking foot. And it allows you to move that quilter's guide from the point of the needle to however wide you'd like your stitching squares to be. So you can measure from your needle over to the edge of that quilter's guide, 1 inch, 1/2 inch, 3/4, 2 inches. So by using the quilter's guide, I set mine for 1/2 inch, and I've just simply sewed grids all across this fabric. Then you take your iron and you simply hover over the top of this, allowing steam to shrivel this up. Now you can add all kinds of texture and dimension to fabrics. By taking a regular cotton fabric, and I have Heat and Shrink in between the lining and the fabric. Then I've done thread painting, and I'm hoping on the camera that you can actually see the shriveled up of the texture of the fabric of this and how this actually gives it beautiful texture and dimension by simply thread painting with an invisible thread and then taking it over to the iron, turning it over on the wrong side and giving it a good shot of steam. And you're literally just moving your iron around. And on the back side, you can definitely see more texture than the front side. But there adds a lot of texture to it and shriveling it all up. You're going to notice that these beautiful flowers have been done with the Heat and Shrink and the 2 layers of nylon organza. There's headbands here that have the stretchy elastic on it with different textures of the flowers. Here's a little barrette and a headband that actually match. Again, using the Heat and Shrink to add that texture and dimension. When you want to put your Heat and Shrink in between your organza, you're simply going to hoop up 3 layers. So you'll take your nylon organza, Heat and Shrink, and nylon organza. So the Heat and Shrink is sandwiched in between the 2 layers of the nylon organza. It is important that you use the nylon organza. The nylon burns clean around the edges and does not leave it black and brown like polyester will. So nylon organza does work much better. By having your 3 layers inside your hoop, of course, you'll stitch out your flowers, burn them out with your heat craft tool. And now we're ready to shrink up our Heat and Shrink inside. And I've started a little bit here, so let's finish so you can see how this works. I turn mine over because I like the way they curl better from the wrong side. And you can literally see this shriveling up. And you can shrivel this as much as you would like. You may decide that you don't want it shrunk and shriveled very much. Here's the original one, and here's the one that has the Heat and Shrink. And again, you can shrivel it from the right side as well. And I'm not touching the organza, I'm just hovering over the top. And you can see the more that I do this, the more that it actually shrivels up. It's a unique process. It's wonderful to add texture and dimension to different fabrics, and it's also wonderful to do these beautiful brooches and texture to your fabric. Heat and Shrink.